I decided to walk away. And yeah, it was difficult. But that was the correct decision. I refused to allow them to pull me down any longer. That night, as I laid in bed, I experienced something I had not felt in a long time. Peace. For once, I wasn't awaiting the next phone call. The upcoming guilt trip. The next request for money. For the first time in years, I felt liberated. And to be honest, it felt fantastic. A few weeks passed without any further problems. I was working, going out with friends, and just living my life. For the first time in a long time, everything seemed normal. Then one day, after work, I discovered a note in my mailbox. There's no return address. Just my name on the front. At first, I considered tossing it. But something about it felt odd. So I opened it. And guess who it came from? My mother. But this wasn't a card. This is not an apology. Not even an ordinary letter. This was a legal notice. She actually attempted to take me to court. Over what, you ask? Familial responsibilities. Apparently, Mom had concluded that I was financially liable for Lily's college fees. Because we are a family. And she was attempting to present it as some type of legal responsibility. As if I was obligated by law to pay for Lily's dorm. I stood there and read it. And then, I laughed out loud as I stood in my living room, holding this absurd letter. It seemed like a joke. It was so outrageous, so absurd. But this was not a joke. She had indeed consulted a lawyer. She had them prepare a full document, claiming that I owed her money. The letter was full of legal language about how family must assist family and how I was morally required to step in, given my so-called success. Success? I was 23, fresh out of college, still sorting out my life, and barely able to pay my rent. She talked about me as if I was sitting on stacks of money. As if I had limitless resources and was being terrible by refusing to share them. But even if I were wealthy, if I had all the money in the world, that doesn't mean I owed them anything. Especially not after how they treated me. I immediately phoned my grandparents. They were as startled as I was. Grandfather was upset. "Don't you worry about anything," he said. They contacted a lawyer buddy, who informed me there was no legal basis for what my mother was attempting. "We'll take care of this. Courts don't enforce family guilt trips." After a few legal processes, the issue was settled. When my mother realized she had no case, she simply dropped the whole affair. Since then, I have not heard from her. Not from Mark. Not from Lily. And honestly, it seems like a weight has been lifted from my shoulders. For years, I allowed them to control my life via guilt and manipulation. But now, for the first time, I'm completely free.